First off, rest in peace, neighborhood Nip. I ain't crip, but I'm on that neighborhood shoot. Building business, it's that black owned. If you hustle, better hustle till your pack gone. If you work, better work till your back hurt. And if you rap, make it better than your last verse. Yeah, more lyrics. Stick and move, Javante.
AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Heal gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, Faith over here.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
I might swerve on that corner. Whoa, whoa. Hold on tight, but you. Hey, look, I gotta see it. No shade. No shade to our guys who have been holding us down on the intro, but I just need to have that for an intro just for like a week. Because, hey, man, we're going to get into it. But welcome to another episode of the 3-Man Weave podcast. We are back after our holiday hiatus. And it's still your favorite guys. I am AJ, your host, Mr. _Williams21. Who I got with me?
Y'all already know who it is, your boy Hill. He'll go here regardless, baby. How long will be here? But let's get it.
Get cold. You gonna be getting one of them real soon.
We gonna talk about that
real soon.
That's on the docket. Hey, y'all catch us on all major podcast platforms. 3-Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3-Man Weave _ You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. Hey, bro. We really do might make a promo video.
You feel me? Hey, because
I'm gonna make the call.
I got a question, man. Who had this on their bingo card? LaMelo dropping the hottest track of 2025 so far. Like, hey, look, it albums came out.
I'm about to say I know Lil Baby dropped today, so.
Albums came out.
Did you get a chance to listen to that, Lil Baby? I didn't get a chance to listen.
I gave it a once over, and
oh man.
Basically what I can say is someone posted Lil Baby 2025 with a picture of Boston Celtics Shaq.
Oh,
that kind of, and I agree. It was a snoozer. I didn't give it the car test, but I gave it the loudspeaker test in the house.
Yeah,
and I'm just like,
I don't know what happened. I literally don't know what happened. I feared this when he was on his run.
Yeah,
that he was going to get burnt out, and like I said, I didn't get a chance to listen to it. Like I said, so I'll reserve judgment. But I had a feeling I ain't hear nothing from you or Kim all day. You know, I'm like,
and it's really it's really one of the only like larger projects that came out. And I think now, like, because I think what happened was, because remember, he wasn't like, I'm trying to rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that. They was like, hey, dog, you here in the studio, like, you know, tell your story, this and that. And when he was putting out stuff, it was fire. But I think it was at a time where he was a little bit closer to certain activities, and he was able to kind of, you know, do that. Sometimes when you start getting money, like I get
what you're saying.
The great ones who have the staying power know how to kind of continue their journey regardless of how far removed they are. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait a minute.
I'm waiting for the notification myself.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
We got here getting FBO bombs though.
You know what I'm saying?
We may have to just rearrange some of these topics. I forgot to give you the graphic. But let's go ahead and just talk about the college football playoff so far.
Go ahead.
Go. I mean, my question was it's a two-part question. you already stated how you felt about the playoffs. I get it. I'm not asking you to change your mind or whatever. I'm asking how did you feel so far about actually now that you've actually saw the bulk of the majority of the games?
After I've seen the majority of the games, pretty much my stance, in my opinion, for me, I'm not saying about, this is like fact, but for me, it only stamps my opinion that we never needed anything beyond really four teams. These other games could have been pretty cool ball games. Like and not even like and not even really trying to be funny, but like some of these matchups like would have been better off. Like, okay, yeah, let's get a Boise State versus a Big Ten team or a SEC team to see how they would have fared and, kind of see how Ashton Jeanty would have fared. Also, y'all people talking about Ashton Jeanty like was overhyped.
They didn't
Dog,
watch
like
the game.
what? They
They didn't watch the
you
game.
you may have watched the stats and said, oh, he had
Yeah.
like he only had I think it was like 3 yards per carry. Nah, dog. Like he was still doing what he do against everybody else, but against tougher competition. So it was a lot harder and it was a lot more of a grind. But he was still out there making dudes fall to the ground, making dudes bounce off of them, break tackles and everything. So I just want to give Ashton Jeanty his props. You held it down. Shout out to Cam Scatterboo too. Cam Scatterboo held it down. Future Cincinnati Bengal. Shout out to Who Day Nation because you gonna fit right in there, my boy. But now to go back to the college football playoff, I truly don't believe that we needed all of these teams. Yeah, but I truly don't believe that we needed all of these teams because again, it stepped on to me it stepped on the product because like I've been saying, we've never gone into a season and looked at the preseason polls and was like, oh, who's that number 13 team? Who's that number 12 team? Yeah, that's a championship contender right there. I believe like University of Missouri was like the number 12 team in the SEC. And it's like, nah, I'm not really thinking that's like it's too much. And one thing that also kind of like it proved to me is it kind of gave them it kind of like handed them what their criteria should be. Because one thing Kirk Herbstreit has been pushing, oh, it shouldn't be about most deserving. It's about, the best team. No, put the most deserving team in there. You on mute. Did you say something?
I got a notification. This is official. FPO bomb hit us with a bomb. We would definitely but continue your point.
But yeah, so to me, this also proves again, put the most deserving teams in there. Put the teams that have won the games, won their conference, and that's it. Like, and you don't need 12 teams because now once you get down to this, now it start you getting like why are we putting 3 lost teams in here? Because to me, it's the same thing that I've been talking about the NBA. Why do we let over half these teams get into the playoffs? And then y'all wondering, well, nobody's watching no more.
Yeah.
Why would we watch? Everybody's got a chance to get into the postseason. And so now one of the things about college football that always really made it so tense and so hyped, competitive is because truly every game mattered. You did not have a chance to win a national championship sometimes if you lost one game.
Mm-hmm.
So if you lose, if you lost 2, it's like, ooh, it's crazy. And then when the playoff came, like the 14 playoff, it gave you a little bit of a buffer, but you still had to truly go through your schedule and you had to navigate your schedule. And to me, that's when you start that's when you weed out some of these other teams. But now you're everybody's talking about, you get like the 12 team playoffs, you play it on the field. So now it helps you kind of figure out who. No, y'all didn't win. That's what college football has been about for ages. Winning your games. In the NFL, you'll be able to like, hey, mindsets change. Hey, you're not gonna win them all. Hey, just get us in the dance. College football, you need to win your games. And to me, that's what it's about. And by them doing this and changing the structure of everything and doing these money grabs and, basically saying, it's going to tie into another topic, but the ESPN and the talking heads have always made it like they've taken so much away from just the actual game and the actual journey, and it's championship or failure. There was once a time where, hey, the Rose Bowl, Pac-12 versus Big Ten, that's bragging rights. When you hear about Charles Woodson, Rose Bowl champion, stuff like that. When you hear about some of these players from like yesteryear, they used to put bowl games on like when they would talk about him, he was a 3-time Rose Bowl champion. They beat Michigan, 3 out of 4 years that he was there. Those were the things that actually mattered. And they took college football from what it truly was a regional game and tried to make it basically pro football life. And not just, from the amateurism part. Like, they didn't actually want to do that. The amateurism part is a byproduct of the money grab that all the higher ups did.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's becoming a trickle down effect, and everybody's talking about how they hate the product now. Y'all the reason why everybody hate the product, because y'all stepped on it. Y'all stepped on it and took it away from what the true essence of it is. And guess what? Y'all wasn't gonna make no less money. That's the crazy part. You wasn't gonna make no less money.
I think that's why I let you go first, because I knew you were gonna get your take off. You're more a college football fan than I am. I'm more of a solution. I'm a solution-oriented person now at this point. We seen I think that they got the teams right based off how this season went. I think they got the 12 teams right. We have the playoff. It is what it is. This is here to stay. So once again, I believe that they got the teams right. So I believe that now that we do have a criteria set. We have a precedent set. This is what you need to do to get to be one of these 12 teams. But I do think that the seeding needs to be changed once they figure out these 12 teams. Get the 12 teams, cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how some of these teams that had bye weeks. I don't understand some of the teams. Really, I don't understand how being the number 1 seed was the worst seed ever, possibly, based off the road that you would have to travel just to get to the national championship. And I'm speaking for Oregon. That was nasty from the jump.
For sure.
So I feel that some of these matchups, I feel that, hey, the solution is let's go ahead and finagle some of these games, schedule some of these games, so now we can get the games that we want. So like for example, we could have got Boise State versus Arizona State. Get this out the way. You know what I'm saying? Of course, because we really want to see Texas versus Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? Or Texas versus, Georgia. So, you get what I'm saying?
But here's the thing, though. You got Texas versus Georgia in the regular season. You have that opportunity. If Texas, which they did, take care of business, you're gonna get Texas, Ohio State in the later rounds. So to me, that's why you schedule those games. To me, you kind of do that the same way you would do it in the in a playoff situation. And to me, we talk about Oregon, this and that. I'm sorry, Oregon won the Big 12. Oregon beat this same Ohio State team earlier in the season. So blowouts happen.
No.
Good teams get blown out. Great teams can get blown out. And guess what? This is also college football.
But don't get me wrong. But think about the path that they would have to go through. But they say you would have to go through Ohio State, Texas, and then whoever just to win versus whoever else versus somebody else having to play.
Oregon shouldn't have had to done that as the number 1 team in the nation.
And that's what I'm saying. Versus somebody else having to go through Boise State, Notre Dame. No disrespect. I'm not saying these teams are weak at all. I'm just using it as an example. Like the number one seed should not have had the toughest road throughout this playoffs. That's
And-
really what I'm saying.
because in no sport does that happen.
Does that happen? That's the purpose of me being the number one seed. Like
Like, and anybody that says that, oh, that's a cop out, play your schedule, like that's not how it works. Like in almost any major sport, you get rewarded for being the best by having the easiest road.
Yeah.
The NCAA basketball tournament,
mhm.
you know what I'm saying? The NFL, now you get a bye
You
week.
get a bye week.
You get a bye week, and then you get the lowest remaining seed.
Yeah.
Like it basically gets reseeded. The same with the NBA. Like
Yeah.
the number one team plays you get to play whoever wins the play in. So sometimes you get to play the number 10 seed.
Yeah. So don't make
That's
me
why,
feel like,
that's why the number to me, and that goes to why I didn't like to play it, because it's just like, hey, even the number 8 seed wasn't winning first round matchups anyway, and now y'all trying to get the 10th seed in there. So like
we've already had our discussion about the play.
we've already had our discussion, but again, so to me, it's just like I think that Oregon caught a raw deal this year because they haven't put like it's almost like the NCAA don't have like a team. They just be like, hey, y'all, we gonna try it this way. And nobody steps up and say, hey, maybe we should do this. It's almost like they don't have like a working session where it's like, hey guys, what do you think about this?
I do think
And my fault, go ahead.
My fault. I ain't gonna cut you off as well.
You're good.
I do think the rhetoric of we got to get the best teams in here regardless of the record, that stuff, that was annoying in this entire playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Especially seeing some of these teams that played in bowl games didn't really fare too well as well. But it's like that's nonsense to me. But I do feel that the seat that, like I say, we have a precedent of the criteria now, which I've been asking for. We can get the teams on. This is how you have to get into the dance. Now the seeding has to be done differently, in my opinion. Once you get these 12 teams, that's all I'm saying. You can fix what this is all I'm saying. I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying this is wrong, but I am saying you can fix some of this. You ain't gonna please everybody. I think that's the whole beauty. I think that's the whole purpose of college sports is just to have this conversation that could add revenue. I guess I guess in some sense. So I guess the added conversation of arguing or debating certain topics is the point of college sports. But we can minimize a lot of that if we just get this right. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I think you used last time we recorded about the 65 seed. Nobody argues about the 65 team in the March Madness because it's like, okay, you should have made it. Boom. We got 5 minutes to talk about you should have made it, and we move right on. Like,
yeah, like who cares? But also, it stems from some of the teams that people think, oh, this is the blue blood that should be in. But it's just like, hey, guys, had they won their games, this wouldn't have been an issue. No one, because to me, in college basketball, when it comes to the tournament, it's a little bit different because their season is so much longer. You know what I mean? So It's just like the season is so much longer. So there can be a situation where it's like, that's when it comes in like, okay, this is a 22-win team, and this is a 24-win team. And then that's when you kind of start splitting hairs and be like, okay, FPI, this and that and stuff like that. Yeah. And then you start, putting in mid-majors and ranking mid-majors and all of that stuff. And you want to give, the automatic qualifiers and stuff like that. In football, hey, dog, you got 12 spots. And to me, the number one thing should be, did you win your games? That should be, to me, that's the number one criteria of it all. Did you win your games? And that's like, that should be like, I don't care what your strength of schedule is. What, to me, did you win your games should be number one on the list.
Like that's been your foundation. And like I said, once the people started saying, like, credible people, talking heads started to really say that record shouldn't matter. Like they were starting to like push that narrative. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's really time for me to check out of here because this is about to get real nasty.
And I hate to harp on it, but again, this goes back like they really set a terrible precedent last year, leaving Florida State out.
Yeah.
And you start to see what was coming because it's like, yo, you have an undefeated Power 5 conference,
Mm-hmm.
a undefeated Power 5 conference champion
Mm-hmm.
that can't play for the national title. And to me, again, that takes another thing away that people say that they love about college sports. The underdog story, the Cinderella. You know, everybody was talking about, you know, Cam Scottaboo got MVP of the game and they lost.
Yeah.
Because, we would have never been able to see Cam Scottaboo on this stage if they didn't get in. Well, guess what? That's what y'all been doing.
Yeah.
Like, that's what y'all did. Because guess what? And this is my last point about this because I'm going to take it somewhere else. Last year, had Tate Rodemaker won the national championship for the Florida State Seminoles, that's a story. He's probably still in a Florida State uniform. You know what I mean? Like, he becomes a legend in Florida State and college football lore. You never know. And it's the same thing with Gunnar Stockton. If Gunnar Stockton goes out and beats Notre Dame, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. And so you like, and to me, that's where it comes like, okay, Carson Beck lost, you know, he went out for the season. People were saying, he already didn't look good as is. But it wasn't like the offense with Gunnar Stockton, in that time that he came in was, just looked like, 2019 LSU. It was what, first off, Georgia was doing, it looked like they was playing with a backup all season and they were still winning their games. And you let them get a number 2 seed. Why? Dominant defense, capitalizing on offense on your opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you get them in. No one ever but now you don't hear it's like, they had a backup quarterback. They should have never made it. And they lost. And it wasn't pretty. But guess what? Quality kept their defense, kept them in that game.
Yeah, until they just couldn't anymore.
They couldn't anymore. But you have to give them that benefit of the doubt because they won their games.
It's just they were. I know it's easy because it was 12 teams, and like I said, you wasn't going to just kick it. They didn't, like you said, they put y'all from 4 to like 6 last year, so it's just a weird China. But we got Texas, Ohio State playing next, right?
Yes.
And then we got Penn State and Notre Dame, right?
Yep.
All right. Penn State, Notre Dame, man. Brief preview. Who you got?
Penn State, Notre Dame. I actually think this is going to be a really, really good game. This is when
for football fans.
For football fans, yeah. This is gonna be a really good game for football fans.
Football.
It's about to be defense. This is about to be running the ball. And this is about to be coaching.
Mm-hmm.
That's where James Franklin, that booty pucker up, and he get a little nervous in these games. I'm glad he got one. But this is when it come to crunch time like this. This is when James Franklin kind of get the.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, but
especially in college, sometimes you just need that one.
Yeah,
you just need that one.
You just need that one. But we wanted to have our guy Kev on, and in that, I went back and kind of saw that video from when Brian Kelly left, and they told the whole and the team was just like kind of like in their weight room, and their strength coach was talking to them, giving them the speech about toughness, and then introduced their new coach to them, and they didn't know Marcus Freeman was going to walk back through that door, and the whole team just exploded. Pause if necessary. And that's like the same thing that happened when I saw it the first time. It gave me chills. I'm like, man, that's dope as hell because he got that buy-in. And so seeing how he, did some things in that game as far as coaching, I do believe that Notre Dame is going to win that game. Shout out to Notre Dame for winning me $1,000 on FanDuel too. And I just think when it comes to it, I think Riley Leonard adds a little bit more dynamicism. Dynamic. I don't know. He's a little bit more dynamic. F.O. Sachi. He's a little bit more dynamic than Drew Aller.
Hey, Hill, give me his phone back, bro. Cause I'm sitting here like, oh, even I know that word.
That shit was kicking. That shit was kicking my ass.
It won too. Oh man, I agree. Especially, I think the way that they look, the way that they played the game against Georgia, the things that they did is like, you can duplicate that.
For
I
sure.
feel that they can duplicate that. I think the way that Penn State played, they can duplicate that as well. But I think this opponent is just going to be.
It's gonna be too.
It's just not Jeanty. Like, so you knew all you had to do was just stop Jeanty, and you would win the game. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So,
And don't get me and like we just said, this is going to be a game for football fans. But the thing about it is, I just don't like when it comes to Drew Aller. I'm not really sold on him. Not really sold on Drew Aller. And everybody's saying, "Oh, if Drew Aller, had come out, he would have been, people would have been looking forward to him coming out in the draft." But man, I just don't know. Like I've seen games where they've won, and he's had like 45 passing yards, and it's going to take a lot more than that. But what I will say is, this is going to be a game where if you need a tight end, this is this is one of them games that's like, hey, who is tight end you? Because between what they got over at Notre Dame and at Penn State, hey man, they got some dogs. And so I think it's going to stress, the linebackers. It's going to really be a good running challenge. Hope Jeremiah Love gets fully healthy so we can really see, kind of like both teams kind of as full strength as possible, especially with their running games. But I just think Notre Dame is gonna. I think this is gonna be the one that Notre Dame gets.
yeah, like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight. Like I said, I just want to see a good game. I just think that Notre Dame's going to win.
Yeah, for sure. Ohio State, Texas on the other side of the bracket, man. What you thinking?
Ohio State, man. Like, I like Texas. I mean,
I do like Texas. I like Texas.
I like Texas, and I definitely don't want to get a whole bunch of texts from my guy Ross. You know what I'm saying? Not going with his guys. What it's like they keep putting Quinn Ewers out there.
And you know what's crazy? It's like we know that they putting him out there, and they don't really want him out there.
And it's weird, and it seems like the team is just playing like that. It's like,
yeah,
but he had a clutch play, to steal the game. So shouts out to him. And I'm not out advocating acting like he trash anything. It's just
I actually don't think he played that bad.
Yeah,
like I don't think he played bad.
I think just Arizona State just fought. They are a good team as well. It just was different,
and they made a comeback.
I just think that this Ohio State team, the team that's probably still salty that they lost to Michigan. Now everybody got to take the repercussions for that.
For sure.
Because the way they made Oregon look, bro, come on now, dog. Oregon been the number one team all year. Oregon ain't nobody I've heard has anything negative to say about Oregon. Okay, let me know. Let me know.
Nah, we had a conversation. They were called overrated, and I'm like, but
that's the entire year. For to be the number one seed, they was called overrated the entire year
after beating the team that they just lost to. But that's not for this platform. But
but like you said, I don't listen.
Right, but like I said, to me, Ohio State is the most complete team in this playoff, regardless of seeding. from who they can run out at running back, who they can run out at receiver. Their offensive line, it's been shaky, but the mobility of Will Howard kind of masked that. Their defensive line, their secondary, like it, it's tough. It's
What's
tough.
that? What's that boy? That corner name or that safety name from Ohio State that's not draft eligible?
Caleb Downs. Not Caleb.
Oh yes, yes it
Yes,
is.
Caleb Downs. It's Caleb Downs. Yes,
Oh my
he was this close to picking Florida State too.
oh my God! That
He,
boy.
he and
That boy.
he cold as a punt returner.
Yeah, but on the flip side, the same thing that you just said about Ohio State, you can say some similar things about Texas. Texas has some DBs, some defensive linemen as well. You know, they have some offensive linemen as well. They got receivers at quarterback. They got playmakers everywhere as well. Like I say, this is a
For
team
sure.
that that should be here. That if you seen in the preseason, you thought about Texas, you'd be like, you know what, this team should be at this point. You know what I'm saying? From preseason, so spring ball to now is you thought this team should be one of these teams. So this is one of the things that you want in the playoff. This is the game that you want to see in this part of the playoff. You're like, okay, we getting what we asked for. You know what I'm saying? From that aspect,
For sure.
So,
For sure.
like I said, I do have Ohio State, but once again, I don't have no dog in the fight. Like I say, I really just want to see a good, some good games. That's all. That's all. That's all I want to see.
For sure.
Anything else you got on college before we move on?
No, I think I'm good. I think.
All right, if y'all can see, man, I got my Jimmy Butler jersey on. Like I said, he finally officially requested the trade, and a lot of people, some people, they need to have a conversation. First off, Jimmy Butler's agent definitely need to shoot Shams a text. Like, my bad, dog, because obviously Sham ain't lying. Lie. You know what I'm saying? It just has been reported from our guy. We got it from our guy FBO, the bomb, that Jimmy Butler's been suspended 7 games, contract detrimental to the team, which I believe is one of the wackest things that they can actually do at this point, because I don't really understand how can they justify it.
Yeah.
He's been saying he hasn't said anything negatively to the point of that he should be fined or that he should be. Go ahead.
We have heard stories of what happened to Jimmy Butler in practice when he was sick of motherfuckers. So we may not. He did that in Minnesota. I'm not saying he did it. I'm just saying
no. What one of our movies, Friday, you pull that on one of them fools around the corner.
Around the corner, yeah.
It's the reason why he acting the way he's acting in Miami. For like sure. We've known that he's been on the block. This ain't the first time we've known he's been on the block. We've known he's been disgruntled. We know they've been sick of him. Pat Riley told you he was sick of him. And I think I don't remember who I said this to. I was just saying, I'm gonna just repeat myself. He was gonna have to act a fool to expedite getting up out of here. And that's what they, because it was reports that we not gonna trade him now. We not getting the offers that we want. So we not about to trade you. So you gonna do what we tell you. You just gonna get down to lay down. So it was, I said it to the point, he's gonna have to act a fool to get up out of here. It's the difference though. You ain't acting a fool when the mob outside. Pat Riley's still a gangster. You don't pull this with Pat.
You like kneecaps?
You feel what I'm saying?
It'd be one of them.
But at the same time, this is a whack move by Pat. Suspending him 7 games. I think the NFL, the NBA, the PA, Players Association, they should step in, because, like I said, he's had interviews and he's been asked questions about his trade request, and he's been teetering the line of what to say and what not to say. It ain't like he's been going to the it ain't like he having an Anthony Edwards type of press conference. You know what I'm saying?
And also the NBA PA is probably gonna step in anyway, because that's their job. to really
yeah.
like their job is to be with you right or wrong, low key. You know what I mean? It's just like because they have to kind of make sure that
This doesn't become a precedent.
it doesn't become a precedent. And so they have to step in regardless in a sense. So I do believe that, they may step in and this may go to arbitration or whatever the case may be. And it may be reduced or, they may allow his agent to kind of go around and start shopping for trades and stuff like that to see what they can get in return and kind of start bringing stuff back. Kind of like what we see have happened in NFL before, where it's like, okay, we'll give you permission to seek a trade and see if you can bring us something back. That feel helps us out. And the only thing about it also is with the Heat, it's going to be hard because Pat don't want to feel like somebody got the best of him because he gonna do that. It's the same way. Hey, Bron came in here trying to get a new coach and this and that. Pat said, "Hey, dog, sit your ass down, and shut up."
And we taking the cookies off the plane.
Yeah, god damn it.
But
and Maverick can't travel with the team no more.
But once again, that's precedent. That's precedent when it comes to Pat. Like you said, Shaq was on some bull, got Shaq up out of there. Like you say, Bron was wanting to make some changes, and Bron wanted to move like he wanted to move. He like, look, bro, you great and all, but I'm Pat. And what Bron do? Bron left. Hey, D-Wade had to go, and D-Wade got a statue. You know what I'm saying? It don't look like him, but
of who though?
But
he got a statue of who?
We know what D-Wade means for Miami, and D-Wade had to go. So Jimmy Butler, you my favorite player, but hey, look, bro, you ain't above those three that I just named.
Hey, fam, thanks for all your contributions, but you just got here. You ain't like a Heat.
Yeah.
Like when it's all said and done, it's like, bro, you done been too many places. You kind of like KD in a sense, like you don't really got no home. Like we worried about this organization. So if you leave it, we want to make sure that we good. We ain't trying to just crumble to your every demand. Like we want to make sure that we are an organization that's going to continue to flourish upon your exit. So yeah, you want to go to these teams? That's cool. They better send something that pique our interest. If not, tough titty.
But here's the thing. Like you say, is we do want to understand the new CBA. We do understand that his contract is hefty. So at the end of the day, even if Pat don't get what he want, he know he's still getting a haul based off contract alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because to make that numbers match.
Like for example, like Curtis said, he coming to the Warriors. Pat Riley first thing said, "Hey, look, I want Kuminga."
Yeah, and that's just the starter. That's just to start the conversation.
And you stated earlier, I forgot which episode it was, but it was one of those NBA episodes that you was like, "Look, you want to maximize the later years of Steph, you may want to make a trade." You said that, and I've been thinking about that ever since the season started. I understand when they started off hot and Buddy Hield was looking like he wasn't Buddy Hield, and then they realized that he's Buddy Hield. You know what I'm saying? Everything cooled off, everything came back to normal for the Warriors. I was like, yeah, they may want to make a move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Jimmy Butler thing sounds promising because I don't think they want to give Kuminga the contract that he already wanted. I think that makes sense as far as both parties.
Because then the Heat can get younger.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Heat, it'll allow the Heat to get younger. It'll allow them to kind of get kind of a piece where it's just like, okay, we could add that to the core to build around and stuff like that. And then you give the Warriors a championship level player, someone with that experience, someone who's been through it, someone come playoff time, you can count on them. You can get the effort, whatever you need, and you don't have to necessarily be like, oh, okay, we gotta see, how you handle the pressure and stuff like that. Nah, we know what Jimmy Butler do when the lights come on, And so we know that, hey, Jimmy Butler, you can fit right in and you can fit right in into the culture. And we know, like, you get Jimmy Butler, that's damn near two Draymonds, on your team. You got two dudes that's gonna be scrappy and always, ready to fight and do whatever whatever it is, play defense. And now you just got one with a little bit more of an offensive game. And I think that actually, fits well with what they have.
I know you put it over your shoulder early when we talked about him coming to the Suns, and of course they're trying to find a way, swap him and Bradley Beal out. And I believe that for both parties, that's the dumbest trade ever. Not dumbest trade ever is harsh, but I do believe it's stupid. Even if that's not less harsh, because it doesn't make sense. Like, Jimmy operates in the mid range. Where does Booker and KD operate? The mid range. So that doesn't solve your problem that y'all have already with them not coexisting on the court together. Anyway, what is Jimmy going to do? Yes, Jimmy can take a lesser role offensively, which he always wanted to do, and he could probably play more of a 3-and-D role or defensive anchor role, which
we need though.
Which could be beneficial. So he could fit way better than a Beal, yes, per se, but essentially in the playoffs, where you want to be, where you want to get to, does it really move the needle? No. Even though it does fit better technically, basketball wise.
So the only thing that I could say is the reason why I say I do it and I'd rather Jimmy over Beal is because I don't know if Beal's going to be on the court. And in the event that Beal's not on the court, okay, then we got, KD and we got Book, and then you got some other guys coming in and stuff like that. When Beal is on the court, I don't know what kind of Beal we gonna get. You know what I mean? He be there sometimes. It ain't like he just be, creating space, knocking down all types of threes and giving us, looking like it's like, oh, we got that number 3. Like, we don't have that. And then we lose a lot on defense with him. You know what I mean? So at least, like you said, hey, Butler wants to take a back seat when it comes to, scoring. He can be more of the 3-and-D slasher, cutter, stuff like that. We have a point guard now, so that it kind of runs, run things a little bit differently. And in the event Booker's hamstring go out, in the event KD roll an ankle, I do know that Jimmy is capable of stepping up even at this age. Beal, he don't show it when they be out. He don't show it like, okay, I'm about to step up and be that number 2 now. You know what I mean? And so that's why it's like I would I think it makes sense. I don't think it makes sense for the Heat at all to do it. But I think it can make sense that's why I think it can make sense for the Suns, but it don't make sense for the Heat.
And then he set to lose $2.35 million, bro, over this suspension alone. Like, there's no way that if I'm the PA, like, I'm letting that happen, bro. Like,
yeah, no, you can't.
Like I said, what did he do? Like, no, we're not going out like that. Is there any other teams though, like that? Oh, Houston.
I was about to say Houston.
It's just that who are they really going to give up? Like, do they? They got some young talent that still needs to just continue to grow.
Yeah. And with Houston, I feel with the picks that they could possibly get if Phoenix is bad, because they basically have I think they have 3 of our unprotected picks.
Yeah.
I don't think that they should try and rush it right now. I think Houston is one of those teams, hey, just stay the course. Stay the course. Very similar to kind of remember, not remember, but what OKC, what OKC did. Stay the course. They had basically PG still, and then it was like you start acquiring all these picks, and then you was like, okay, you start to have kind of a direction. now you make that trade, and their trade was better because it's kind of basically in reverse to what Houston would be doing. But they got Shea for PG, which is and picks. But it's like just stay the course. Don't make a deal just for the sake of making a deal. Because what does Jimmy really like? What does bringing Jimmy in there? What does that do for your ceiling and your floor?
Well, you know my response is gonna be biased, so but you go ahead.
And you can say it. Go ahead.
I mean, because we playoff Jimmy is for real.
No, and I 100% understand that.
Right?
But
Playoff Jimmy is a real thing. Like a healthy playoff Jimmy gets the Heat to the Eastern Conference Finals to the finals twice.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, that's not
absolutely. But what I'm saying also is it's an older version of him.
Sure.
It's an older version of him. He has been abrasive in a couple places. And so to me, right now, you can stay the course, and who knows who you might get like to add to your young core. And then you could kind of start seeing, we have these guys. Because one I think it's what the 2025 or 2026 pick that they have from Phoenix.
Yeah,
and it's like, right. And so it's just like you might be able to add, a Jalen Williams type player to the Rockets, in a draft, and then you can start looking around and being like, maybe we can flip Sengun and somebody else and get, an established real or something like that. And next thing you know, that's how you start building your championship contender. Then you could be like, okay, we ready.
I got a dark horse out of nowhere that I just thought about. And they may not even do this, but think about the Grizzlies, bro.
Why do we think alike, bro?
That's crazy. It's crazy because I literally just thought about that because they was in the market for trying to get Dorian Finney-Smith.
And then that's what made me think of it too.
And you get a Dorian Finney-Smith. Now you don't have the ammunition to actually get a Jimmy without giving up maybe somebody significant, but
or maybe they can get a third team involved.
Maybe
and maybe they can get a third team involved, and Pat might be like, okay, you had these teams, but I'll trade you here, almost like out of some spite type thing. Who knows?
They had some dumbass report that said they still think they can beat Boston without Jimmy. Okay, I'm like, all right, now that y'all Miami,
okay, guys, what you smoking on?
Yeah, y'all realize I'm delusional, but at the same time, we know that you're gonna want somebody significant. Like I said, I think the best possible piece that they can get back and they can build for the future is Kuminga. As far as somebody that's actually willing to make a trade, because I don't really see too many people gonna give up what's necessary to acquire Jimmy. That's just.
But and it's also one of the things we've seen it before. Once you know somebody wants to trade, it almost you could stop kind of overpaying because it's that they want out, and eventually, especially now that you've suspended them, now it's almost do you really it's almost it's about to be to the point of no return now because you suspend them. What, you about to let them back now?
Yeah, so it's you lost your leverage, but only it's Pat Riley that you're talking to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I get that part.
But before we move on, do the Kings make a run
at Jimmy?
Yeah, they possibly gonna lose De'Aaron Fox. And what
and that's what I was about to say. When you bring up De'Aaron Fox, that would be a trade I guarantee that'll make that'll make Pat Slickback stand up a little bit. That'll get his attention.
Whoa, I'm not saying trade De'Aaron Fox for
Oh,
Butler.
oh.
Hell no. Hell no. If that was, I would pull the trigger. I would trade. I would trade Jimmy
Because
Butler.
my thing is, if the Kings feel like they about to lose him,
No, that's what I'm saying. They feel like they about to lose him. Now they try to do what they can do to keep him.
okay.
Like, you know how
Because my
people
thing
try
is,
to.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I get you. I was thinking in a sense you saying that as if like don't lose him for nothing, and maybe
Oh no, 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 no.
you try and get Jimmy in some picks or something like that.
I don't even care about that anymore because in this day and age, like I say, he signing trades is
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
You can sign a trade. You may not get what you really want, but like you can get something.
you get
But
something.
at the same time, like you said, they already said that they're not really trying to trade him this year anyway. So maybe they can rekindle this relationship with him, you know, by acquiring somebody like a Jimmy. Obviously, Jimmy and DeRozan aren't the same player, but this DeRozan thing ain't working for
It ain't
Jimmy.
what it ain't working at all.
So you would think like, so why would it work with Jimmy? It's weird when it comes to this basketball dynamic. I understand that he wants to go to the Mavericks. I don't think that they have. Once again, they don't have the return.
Mm-hmm.
You know that they can, that they can get that Pat Riley would want. So I think it's nasty for him, but
Yeah,
he getting traded. He getting traded.
yep. It may be to Portland, but he getting traded.
Hey, why the ratings down, bro? Why we still here?
Um, that I'm glad you said that because I forgot to add this, and so the ratings, man. I've been saying it for years, and to me, it's just like they've devalued the regular season. It don't matter. It like the regular season does not matter. It doesn't, with the amount of games that they play, there it feels like there's no urgency to it. And just like I said, when it came to college football, every week mattered. You know what I mean? And not just like, oh, your team. You had to watch other play. Like you got to watch other teams too, because it's just like, oh man, they beat the number 15 team in the nation by 30. That's when back remember, oh, style points matter too, because it was just like every game truly mattered. And so you knew style points matter. You knew all of that happened. You knew that, hey, we need to look better than this team because that's who they could like. We need to make sure that we, can jump them and all of that. So ain't no resting our starters. So I don't care if we up in the third. Hey, we going deep to Chris Gamble. You know what I'm saying? So to me, like, I disagree with the NBA talent ain't there no more. Like the NBA talent is there, and top to bottom, these dudes is way more talented than some of the guys from back then. But it's the style of play. Like, why are you looking at me like that?
Yeah, that statement was a little too strong.
So when it comes like when I'm not talking about like stars versus stars.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about like some of these guys on the bench, like are like some of the guys that like are like just like a role player and stuff like that. Like I'm sorry, like Luke Longley, like I like Luke, but you wouldn't have been like you might have got pushed around. That's what I'm kind of saying. Like stuff like those type of players, like these dudes, like top to bottom, they're more athletic. Top to bottom, they're more skilled and stuff like that. But what I will say is, like, same thing I was saying with the college playoff. The product has been stepped on because it don't like these games don't matter. So why do I want to sit up at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday to try and stay up and watch a Central Time Zone game? Or why do I want to stay up till 10 o'clock to watch one of these West Coast games? No, especially if the players I want to see ain't going to be playing. Like, because again, why do I need to play 82 games? Why do I need to play 75 games? Bro, 10 teams got a shot at the playoffs. It's not urgent. There's no urgency. So there's no urgency to really do things and turn up. Like at one point in time, it was like, oh, NBA don't really start until Christmas. Half the time, it ain't even Christmas anymore. It's after that. It's after All-Star break. Because that's when teams really start turning up and trying to make a push. Because it's like, all right, we want to try and, win these couple games to try and get these last couple games in for seeding and get kind of, get our footing together and stuff like that. Instead of actually just being like, oh, we need to get ahead early. We need to start getting these games out early so we can really start winning. And so it's just like, it actually, at one point in time, oh no, my headphones are dying. At one point in time, it actually mattered to win regular season games. Now it's just like, all right, cool. We shake hands. We'll get the next one. We don't need to so what? We play this back to back. So what? We play a team in our, division or our conference. It don't matter. It don't matter until later on in the season. Then it's like, okay, yeah, maybe we need to get this game and try, get this game from some seeding. Maybe.
I think that the NBA talent ain't there. I disagree with that. I believe the marketing is terrible though.
Yeah, the marketing is definitely terrible because again, like we've talked about it, off platform, but it's just like
they still it's still the big three. It's still KD, Bron. Put it down. It's still KD, Bron, and Steph. And like I said, these young dudes that would say we got. Like I said, how many times have you heard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander talk?
Bro, I don't even know if he has a Canadian accent or not.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if SGA has a Canadian accent or not. The only reason why we hear Ant-Man talk is because Ant-Man is the only hope that we got. But he don't have no filter. But I actually think he could, that could be good for the NBA if they channel it proper. Because to me, he can basically be the NBA's, in league version of, what you get from. He could be the actual player that could be the league's version of what you get from Shaq on, what you get on from Charles Barkley on, TNT, stuff like that. You actually can see his personality. Like, there's other dudes where you can see their personality. There's other players where you can market. Bro, I'm sorry. Steph ain't that interesting of a person, but they've marketed him well. That's my
point.
They've marketed him to his fan base and all of that. KD don't want to talk to none of y'all.
But that's the point.
They market him. So you can still do that. Bro, market Luka. I guarantee you. Hey, bro,
but they didn't already put Luka on the pedestal. Put Jokic don't even want to, be just. He don't even want to play basketball. But
bro, somebody send Jokic to the Kentucky Derby. Let him do some interviews over there. Let him talk and stuff like that. Hey man,
but like I said, you got people like I said, they have young stars and stuff like that. But it's more so. And you said this again, like I said, it's more so everybody's been in the NBA have been conditioned to be player oriented more so than team oriented, and that's cool. And that's always kind of similar, like you said, it's always kind of been the case. But at some point, we need the big three to go. Like, we need Bron to go, we need Steph to go, we need KD to go. Like, think about it, bro. Like. And I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way. Curtis wasn't a Warriors fan growing up. Became a Warriors fan because of Steph. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these, we know how the Bron fans go. You know what I'm saying? They've been going with Bron until they get. But like I said, remember Melo? Melo had fans.
So did AI. AI was.
But where did they stay?
Yes.
Like, and AI fans stayed with the Sixers.
That was about to be my rebuttal. That was gonna be my rebuttal.
Melo fans, you know, they probably wasn't Nuggets fans, but when he went to the Knicks, they just stayed with the Knicks. Cool. You mean to tell me that, you know, like I said, of course, people like Ant. Let's say Ant, because Ant's one of my next favorite players, you know, once my guys get out the way. You think I'm about to just stay with the Timberwolves? Like they didn't market, they already marketed as nasty. It's the reason why Tatum can't really blossom the way how they wanted him to be, because he played for the Celtics. Celtics has a fan base. Yes. Like you would never hear people just say, "Man, I'm a Tatum fan." No, you are a Celtics fan. And Tatum,
but to me, that's the best. But to me, that's the best way to do it, because that's the same way to. That's the same way to
condition it though. We can't condition these. We can't retrain the NBA fan on how they've been their entire life. You know what I'm saying.
But here's my thing though. You may not be able to condition some of the fans who already have been able to, like Curtis. You may not be able to recondition Curtis, but what you can do is trying to get them for that next generation, or build in that next generation. So the teams in general have to up their marketing regionally, because guess what? You need to, you want to try and make it a regional game again. You want, listen to me. You want Memphis Grizzlies fans to just love the Memphis Grizzlies. You don't want it to just be like, oh, I'm a kid from Florida. I just like Ja. And then Ja go to Utah because he on house arrest with NBA YoungBoy. And then it's just like, all right, I'm a Utah fan. Because guess what? Y'all the NBA make it too hard to see people's games.
Yeah.
And to me, that comes into it too, where it's just like, you make it too hard to see. Like, if you have a local team, don't make it so hard for me to watch your games. And I want to watch my local team. Let me y'all play so many games. Stop making it hard for me to watch my team, because that's how you build fan bases. That's how the the NFL was able to build their local fan base. Because guess what? When I'm in Cincinnati, Sunday 1:00, CBS, 9 times out of 10, guess what? The Bengals are on at 1:00.
Yeah.
I don't see no other team, especially if it ain't sometimes it ain't even no Fox game on in my area. It's the Bengals or nothing.
Yeah. But
you know what I mean? And so it's that kind of ingrains in you, all right, cool. I like this team. I like this team. I like this team. I like this team. And I think that's one of the things that they should do.
And like I said, Curtis is around our age. He's like, honestly, I've been a fan of players. NBA teams change too much. That's how a lot of majority of these fans think. But at this stage, your plan, I think is could be done. I'm not saying it couldn't be. I think it's hard. But if the product on the court was nasty, and was why we not watching it.
Yes, and to me,
this is nasty, bro. If you just watch it, it don't even have to be your team. It could be one of the good teams. The product on it is nasty because of what they do. They are, dude,
and
like you mentioned, Luke Longley. Luke Longley be shooting threes in this era.
For sure.
Why?
And I hate it. Exactly. And my thing about it is, it starts from what we see in AAU. Bro, we be watching these AAU clips like, oh, number one player in the nation. It don't even look like these dudes is going full speed. Ain't nobody playing no defense. Everybody just running past each other. They either dunking, doing layups, or dribble, stop, pull up. Nobody has moves. Like Kobe said, it is a plan. It's just basketball without a plan.
Yeah,
it's literally just basketball without a plan. Everybody just, all right, cool. I'll go to the cup, or I'll run around, run off a screen. Try and get a 3-pointer, transition 3. Try and get long rebound, start a transition layup, or pull up transition 3. And we talked about this early on in our infancy of the podcast. when it came between analytics and basketball.
Mhm.
Steph Curry is the greatest shooter we have, arguably ever seen. I'm gonna say is here, but some people may argue it. So teams felt like, okay, threes are better than twos. No, it's not. Threes are better than twos when you're Steph Curry.
Yeah.
When you're Lauri Markkanen,
Get your big
sometimes
ass.
get your big ass down there and get a board and get a two. And guess what? If you get fouled, you can get the bro. It's prime example. Me and Deuce, we had a basketball conversation. Deuce is stubborn. I was telling him, hey, Wembanyama, stop taking 9 fucking threes a game, dog. What 9? You're taking 9 threes a game,
Mhm.
and you go to the line 4 times a game? Absolutely not. And what he was saying, he was like, if it's anybody on that team, I want, shooting 9 threes, it's him. And I'm like, yeah, but guess what? When he's shooting 9 threes a game, who's there to get his rebounds because he's only shooting 30% of them? Like, he's only shooting 30%. Like, I'm not saying don't shoot threes. Go ahead, Wembanyama. But you're shooting more threes than you shoot twos. And you only get to the line 4 times. You are 7'4", dog.
Mhm.
You average 4 blocks a game. So you know how many offensive rebounds you can get? You know how many of your own rebounds you can get? You know how they would have to, many times they would put you to the line
Yes.
if you in the paint. So you telling me instead of shooting 9 threes in a game at 30-something%, you can't shoot 47% from 2 and you're an 80% free throw shooter? To me, that might be a little bit more efficient than what you are right now, and you can be an even better player. And guess what it's going to also do? Your rebound number is going to go up too. Your assist number is going to go up too, because guess what? Some of them times you can start kicking out to open corner threes to guys because you're 7'4". And it's the same thing, man. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that happened with the NFL. These people think more points means more entertaining. No, it don't. Just because you're scoring more points don't mean it's more entertaining. Because guess what? Y'all throwing 45 passes a game and you're only running it 10 times. You know what's also fun? Seeing a running back go for 50 yards.
Mhm.
Ain't nobody complain. Oh, don't nobody want to see Saquon run for 200 yards in a game. Nobody's ever said that, but you think passing the ball more makes it more exciting. No, defense is a part of the game. Guess what? Everybody want to say, oh, we love the 3 points, scoring. You also know what people like? People like Shaq bodying people in the paint, dunking on dudes. We like to see people get dunked on. It's only like we don't even see dudes get put a good spin move in the paint and boomed on. We don't see that no more. We like that. I liked watching, speaking of pause, hey, Dwight Howard in the paint. Like, dog, that was nice. That was nice.
But
Joel, get your big ass in the paint. And
Just
stop
like you-
fouling all the damn time.
But just like you said earlier, like you said, these dudes are more skilled. Say these dudes are more skilled. Not really about to argue that, but they playing the game terribly.
They're more skilled, but they play dumb. It's a difference.
So it
So
minimizes the product.
Let me add a caveat to what I was saying. They are more skilled without any fundamentals. It's like almost an oxymoron. These dudes don't play with fundamentals, and that comes from AAU, and that literally comes from what me, you, and Kev talked about. None of these dudes play high school basketball no more. Yeah. All of these dudes are on star-studded AAU teams.
Mm-hmm.
And in high school, sometimes you would just have to hoop with some dudes that was from your area. You would have to hoop with some dudes that as soon as high school is over, they going to jail. like they not even going to college. They going to jail. But you could be the guy and you could lead that team to, the state semifinals or even a state championship. You know, you would have to learn like, oh, some of these dudes they had to play like, bro. You could be a 6'7" small forward, and your center is 6'7", and he about to work at sprint. You know what I'm saying? But when you had to do that, it taught you leadership. It taught you how to kind of be like, hey, I'm gonna take over and really do these certain things. And it taught you how to work through adversity because guess what? You might actually go up against a team like they might not have the number one player in the nation, but they got they got three dudes. One dude going to Marshall and two dudes going to Norfolk State and ODU. But you got to try and figure out like, okay, coach, like we actually running plays because we got to actually try to do stuff. We got to actually try to maximize what we doing in this system. And nobody do that no more.
They actually running plays instead of just high screen and rolls. It's the same thing.
That's literally what we see in the NBA. Just high screen and rolls, dribble, handoff, pass, three-point open, or a bunch of bad 3-point shots.
Like I said, it's nasty, bro. It's like it's nasty watching some of these games. It's like, bro, come on. Like some of these dudes that got no business shooting all these three. And like I said, it's a happy medium because, like I say, when you look back in the past, you be like, man, Reggie Miller only averaged 3 threes a game. Like, no, you should have been shooting 9 threes a game or 6 threes a game because that's what you do. But 3, no. But like I said, then you look at Wembanyama or Karl Anthony Towns and then big ass shooting all these outside jumpers. It's like, bro,
it makes my skin crawl here. Karl Anthony Towns. I'll say I'm the best shooting big man ever. So get your big ass in the paint.
Even he is balling in New York this year. He is balling. I ain't gonna take nothing away from what he got going on in New York. He's balling. You know what I'm saying? He sure looks missing. They miss him in Minnesota. I know that for sure.
Especially had Julius Randle. So I had to look it up because Ray Allen was like that perfect kind of like in between guy from like these generations. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, in Ray Allen's very first All-Star season, which was 1990 and 2000, he shot almost 6 threes a game at 43%.
Who was he with? He was still with the Bucks on that one.
Yeah, team? he was still with the Bucks.
All right.
And then so after that, and then his last All-Star season with the Bucks, he shot 7 threes a game at 43%.
Somebody that's supposed to shoot that. Even when he went to Seattle and it was I'll even go to, let's see, his age. No, let's go to Boston. His age 32 season, his first year in Boston, he shot 7 threes, bro. Yeah. In Boston, I'm listening,
bro. He shot his first season in Boston. He shot 6 threes and he was at 40%, and that's 32 years old. Like,
what was he?
He's only shooting 6. And Seattle, he shot 8, and he was shooting like 41%.
Yeah, we talking about, but like I said, we talking about one of the best shooters of all time.
What best shooter of all time? Hey, Wembanyama, that ain't you, dog.
That ain't you. Hell, Anthony Edwards. Come on, bro. That ain't you either. You can shoot, but the essence of your game is diminishing now because you're diminishing your product by doing something that's not maximizing your entire skill set. Like, I get it. Expanding your game is something that I always want these players to do. I get it. Don't just be one trick. Don't be DeMar DeRozan. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to him. He's a bucket. Been a bucket his entire career. But I am saying expand your game. But I'm just saying still know who you are. You know what I'm saying?
So I'll pull up Wembanyama's numbers. So he shoots 9.5 threes a game. He makes 3.3 of them, which comes out to 35%. He also shoots 9, almost 10 2-pointers a game, and he's at 60%. But you're an 87% almost 88% free throw shooter, and you're only getting to the line 4 times a game.
4 times a game is as a big is
It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
yeah, bro.
Like, because to me, again, and he averages a little under 2 offensive rebounds a game.
Big for nothing. Let's see these picks, bro. We
Yeah,
got plenty of time. We got plenty of time
to get back to that.
Get back to the NBA because, like you said, it ain't gonna get no better. To be quite honest, especially this season, until they make some necessary changes. Man, we got some Saturday games. AFC North is holding it down on a Saturday. Man, I wanted the Cowboys to play on Saturday. And get it. Yeah. We had the Browns and the Ravens. Are the Ravens really playing for something?
Yes. Because they can lock up. They got a chance to lock up the division, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check.
I believe so. I got the Ravens regardless of whatever.
Yeah. So they got a chance to lock up the division because if Pittsburgh wins later on against us, I believe they end up winning the division. Because then it'll make they'll both finish 11-6. But bro, you can't tell me them starting DTR. We're worried about They're
not starting DTR this week.
Who they starting?
Somebody else.
If it ain't Jameis, they ain't trying to win.
It ain't.
Exactly. So regardless, we seen how bad DTR was. They can't be starting Jameis Winston this week.
They not. It's
I'm about to say.
It's somebody else that if I'm looking it up now, just to say.
Yeah. So Jameis Winston. Yeah. No.
Yeah, they starting Bailey Zappi.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's over.
Like,
congratulations to the Baltimore Ravens on winning the AFC North.
Yeah, they started. I knew I wasn't tripping. Yeah, so shout out to the Ravens. I want you to go first about the Bengals and the Steelers game.
I think this is a game that we can win, but primetime games on the road, I'm not too excited about it. But what I will say is, man, I'm not betting against Joe Burrow because that's my guy. I just hope that the defense and Russ just throws us. Please, Russ, give us 2. Give us 2, Russ, and we should be fine. And so I think Jamar, T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki, and Joe Burrow are kind of like they on a heater right now. And I think this could be one of them legacy games, as crazy as it sounds, because as things are going, we not dead in the water, as you know. The toughest one is Broncos winning their end. Carson Wentz has been a starter in this league, so who knows what can happen. That's the hard part. But with no Tua going, the Jets can beat the Dolphins. You know what I mean? So it's just like we got a shot, dog. We got a shot.
And I hate to be that it's red type of guy or go over that, but I believe that y'all winning this game specifically so that the Chiefs Broncos game can actually mean something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Broncos have to win. Like I say, if they know for a fact that if y'all lose and they, they ain't got to go out there and play hard. Hell, they make bench they starters too, and they made like a preseason game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The only thing about it is, if they lose and the Dolphins win, I believe the Dolphins are in, and they both play at 425. So they still kind of got to play.
Still got to play. Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
All right.
But if they look up on the scoreboard and the Jets is up 41-0, Bo Nix going to the bench, dog.
So I do have a question that I want to ask. It's a statement first. I think the Steelers need this game way more than y'all. As crazy as that sounds. Like, it sounds crazy because
in a sense, I actually understand. My bad. I did not mean to cut you.
I know you understand exactly what I mean. Like I said, I get it. Y'all need to win for your playoff lives and all that. They've been on a losing skid. Like, they got to get this stench off. You know what I'm saying? They definitely need to win very bad, or they're gonna be one and done when it comes to the playoffs. So they definitely need to get a win bad to get the aesthetics, feeling way better. But I do got a question. All year, people been saying Burrow been having an MVP year. He just can't win the MVP because his team is holding him. They ain't making the playoffs. That's what they were saying. So if y'all somehow get into the playoffs, does that mean Joe Burrow's the MVP?
To me, that also comes to what I've been saying. Is it the best quarterback on the best team, or is it the most valuable player? Because guess what? Some of the big talking heads, I listen to some stuff when it comes to how they talk about the Bengals. They talk about, they wouldn't be fighting for their lives if Joe Burrow didn't throw that interception against the Ravens. They wouldn't be fighting for their lives if Joe Burrow didn't fumble against the Steelers or the Chiefs. We wouldn't have 8 wins to be in this position if it wasn't for Joe Burrow. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they talk about those 3 games. Let's talk about the 8 games that he has won. Let's talk about leading 3 game-winning drives against the Broncos. He won that game 3 times.
Yeah.
And he won. Say what you want about, the Ravens interception or whatnot. He led the game-winning drive for that. He led the game-winning drive twice about that. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, it's you and I have spoken about kind of the Bengals stench that never kind of leaves. And so it's always kind of painted a narrative about Bengals players. And so that's why when you look, even when some of the Bengals having like some of their great seasons or should be in certain conversations, it really takes a while for it to happen and or gets met with a lot of pushback because they play for the Bengals. They got the stench. And that don't really happen for a whole bunch of other teams and a whole bunch of other players. But I think that's one of the reasons why Joe Burrow really, he's going to have to not only play perfect and be flawless, but they're going to also have to be a really great, like, all-around team. And it's going to have to be some guys that have down seasons. It's almost going to have to be kind of like, had it been like last year when it's Lamar and Dak, and it's like, we got to give it like, it's Lamar, It's going to have to be something like that. Where it's just like, because, cool. Because even with this great season, Josh Allen, but he got to do this because he don't got no weapons, this, and that. Lamar, he's just consistent. Look at his numbers, and they're winning this, and that. When it's like, one of the things that people have always said, Joe is getting carried by Jamar and T. No other quarterback got the weapons that he has. When whole time, people consider Travis Kelce one of the greatest tight ends of all time, and you had Tyreek Hill, and you had Andy Reid, considered one of the best offensive minds of all time. But it never hindered anything when it came to, the narrative of Patrick Mahomes, because that's the Chiefs. Nobody had a narrative against them. The Ravens are the epitome of, blue blood organization and, run the right way. Everybody just sees, Josh Allen is the most talented. Shit, we've been still getting pushback of like, Justin Herbert way better. Give Justin Herbert the weapons that you give that Joe Burrow got. He'd have won a Super Bowl by now. You know what I mean? And so it's just a narrative. And so I think Joe Burrow is going to have to really. He said, like he did say, I'll win one day. It's just not this year. But so I just think he's gonna have to really get the stench off and bring people to the party and do some even more amazing things, which is crazy because he's had an amazing season. I was this man. If it wasn't for this defense, I would really have been real close to my prediction of 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns for Joe Burrow.
You was. NFL, not the NFL, NBA, the PA filed a grievance already for Jimmy's behalf. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Let's
There you
move
go.
on. I gotta go. We got the Panthers and the Falcons. I don't know. I got the Falcons.
Falcons, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
Texans
I think
and
the Texans are. I think the Texans are locked into the 4 seed, so they're
Yeah.
sitting everybody. So
But
Titans, sure.
so-
Fuck up your draft pick.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that. But yeah, the Giants and the Eagles. Who cares at this point? They're not letting Saquon get the record. That's a waste of time. Like,
Why
they're
are we
not
even
even-
doing these picks?
You know what?
You know what? Let's pick the games that actually mean something.
So
Let's
that means
get
the
fuck out of
Lions and the Vikings.
here. Lions and Vikings. I'm going to go the Vikings.
I'm going with the Lions because they desperately need a bye week.
I'm going. I believe the Lions, like not even the bye week. I believe the Lions need home field advantage throughout the playoffs. But I'm going with the Vikings this time just because I think that the injuries that they've had, they've overcome them. But sometimes, like you win some and you lose some. And I think this might be the one. It's just like it might be a little bit too much for them.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yep. All right, cool. Yeah, I got Vikings. You got Lions.
Yeah. So, welcome back. First episode of 2025. Y'all know y'all catch us on all major podcast platforms. 3Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. I'm Hill. That's HA. Some of y'all the 4s, some of y'all the Fast 5. And we out.
Yeah. I'll be tweaking.